Hello, Snuggly Snorlax. Over today's Hearthstone video, we're going to go over the Rogue cards and the Titans expansion coming up in a few weeks in August. We're going to be starting out with to let you know, there's mostly a lot of magnet stuff going on here, a lot of mechs and Rogue. We have the 3 mana 4/3 Copper Tail Snoop, which is magnetic. Whenever this attacks, gets a coin. And again, obviously, when you magnet, anything that attacks will get the coin, which will help combo things out. Coins are always good in Rogue. Should be pretty good. Again, I think it'll just depend on how well the mech/magnetic thing works altogether for them, but overall, this sounds pretty fantastic. Then we have a 2-mana spell, get 3 1/1 magnetic spark bots with random effects, so we'll just kind of pan through these really quick, but effectively they're 1/1s with magnetic and all the different effects you can think of: Poisonous, Reborn, Taunt, Rush, Stealth, Divine Shield, Wind Fury, Lifesteal, etc. So it just gives you little 1/1 mechs. I think this is a really good card. Again, it'll just depend on how good. If the mechs are either going to be almost all played, in my mind, or none, if it doesn't work. Then we have Gear Shift, a 1-mana spell. Shuffle the 2 leftmost cards in your hand into your deck and shuffle 3 cards. So it effectively, because this is also a card, it effectively like cycles almost 3 cards worth, but you can kind of pick that, right? You know, I have 2, wait till you have 2 not so great cards on the left, and then shuffle them back into your deck. I think it's okay, right? It's not the best, but I mean, it helps you. It's kind of like a small Murgle effect in the sense of, you know, sometimes you just have a bad hand and you want to reshuffle or redraw. I'm not sure. A lot of times cards like this will still work. Say if you have no cards in your hand, this effect becomes a 1-mana draw 3, so that's also quite possible. We next have a 2-mana 3/2 Battlecry Discover a spell from another class that costs 3 or less. Just another thief Rogue card. Excited to try that out. Usually I prefer them to be pirates, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Lab Constructor. So our Forge card for Rogue. So for those of you if you're watching all these, apologies if you hear this a dozen times. But for those who don't know, Forge mechanic is new and it's kind of like tradable yet. Move the card over your deck, costs 2 mana, and effectively it stays as 4 in total, but it forges, makes the card, upgrades the card. So at the end of the turn, summon a copy of this, so it's a 4-mana 3/2 that then summons a 3/2, and then they would keep replicating. But it also gains magnetic if you forge it. So you could play this on a big, beefy mech with tons of stuff if you forged it, and then it would copy the entire thing, right? Because it's magnetic, so it goes away and becomes just part of that card. I think this is huge. Again, probably wouldn't get played in a non-mech Rogue deck, so we'll see, but honestly, fantastic card. I'm looking forward to trying me some Mech Rogue. Then we have our first legendary Mimiron the Mastermind. After you play a mech, get a random one of Mimiron's gadgets. So apologies to go over all these as well. We have Coolant, Cloak Field, Mimiron Switch. I should probably read these. Sorry. Coolant makes it so the next card that your opponent plays costs 2 less. Or next card you play costs 2 less. Cloak Field, give a friendly minion 3 attack and stealth. Choose 2 minions, they swap stats. Mimiron's Horn, give a minion taunt and divine shield. Mimiron's Rewinder, return a minion to the owner's hand. And Mimiron's Blades, 1 mana, deal 3 damage. These are kind of like the old mech, they're called gadgets, I guess, of old. I don't think that's what they were called. Apologies, mech parts. I think it was parts. Anyway, but it just makes it so after you play a mech, get a random one of the gadgets. So, you know, you either play it and hope it lives and then spam a bunch of mechs down, magnetize onto him because he's a mech, or you wait until you have a bunch of stuff. I think this card's really good. 3 mana 2/5 is a decent stat line anyway. If this itself had magnetic, obviously it would be probably way too powerful, but I think this is pretty good. Next up, we have 2 mana Pit Stop, discover a mech from your deck, give it +2/+1. Obviously great. Anytime, it's basically a draw 1, but it's a bit of a tutor, plus you can give it a buff, which means that it's kind of like a 2 mana buff, but also a tutor draw. Just fantastic. Could even be played in a deck that you don't play a ton of mechs, right? Like maybe the idea is you only have 1 or 2 that you really, really need for your combo, and all of a sudden, boom, you can discover it from your deck plus buff it. Warren Buffett. Yet another mech, as you can see, they're going all in on this for Rogue. This, other than that, like one thief card we looked at. We have the SP3Y3D3R, so the Spider Bot, effectively, which is a 3 mana 3/4, pretty much perfect stat line, magnetic and stealth. Pretty basic, pretty awesome. Good stat line. Even just a 3 mana 3/4 with stealth is great. And then in fact you can say attack with a big mech minion and then throw this on. So effectively you miss the 3 attack because you did it afterwards, but you then give it stealth so it doesn't die. Then we have a 1 mana Tar Slick. Minions take double damage this turn, then deal 1 damage. So the way that this is worded, effectively, if you're hitting minions with this, it's 2 damage, or it's just 1 mana, deal 1 damage to face, but it also makes some minions take double damage this turn, including your own. But you could either trade up, or if you have some other spells and you really want to deal with minions, I think this will be the best in my mind. I feel like this is very situational. I don't think it's going to see as much play. I could be wrong. The fact that it only lets you hit minions for double, I don't personally see it happening to be played too often. Then we have the Titan. I love that they T1, T4N for this Voltron Prime, if you will. So Titans, real quick, for those who don't know, is basically a big minion that gets played, can't attack until all its abilities are played, but it gets an ability when it's summoned, and then every turn afterwards it gets to play one of its 3 abilities until all 3 are used, then it can attack. And it says this means abilities repeat on another random friendly minion. So you would have to have another Mech, presumably. I say another Mech. Could be any minion, but presumably Mech because it's a Mech package deck. And then it's a 3, 5, or 6 mana, attach the cannon. So gain +2/+1 and then deal 4 damage to a random enemy. So if you'd say pick this card, or this effect, it's a 5/6, deal 4 damage to a random enemy for 6, which is great. Plus, if you have another minion on the board, there's a buff and another 4 damage. Wow. Then there's full power, gain +1/+2 and draw cards. So you could draw 2 cards, plus then it's a 4/7, which is pretty good. This would be if you're ahead on the board already and you don't need to deal with stuff. And then maximize defenses, gain +3 health, and can't be targeted by spells or hero power. So again, if maybe you have another big mech that's super magnetized with things, you might want to actually do that to be defensive. They can't use spells to remove your stuff other than AoEs. Then after you play all 3, this can attack as per normal. That is the Titan for the Rogue. Those are the Rogue cards. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more card reviews as they come out, as well as gameplay when the Titans come out. I'm looking very much forward to refreshing the meta and maybe getting back into the game a bit that I haven't been playing that much lately. Have a great rest of your day.